Laura Schroff, An Invisible Thread. Discover the heartwarming story of an unexpected friendship that transcended race, age, and socioeconomic status in An Invisible Thread by Laura Schroff. This book summary chronicles a life-changing encounter between the successful advertising executive Laura Schroff and 11-year-old homeless boy Maurice on the streets of New York City in 1986. As their bond grows, Laura takes Maurice under her wing, providing him with the love, care, and opportunities he never thought were possible. The summary delves deep into the childhoods and family dynamics of both Laura and Maurice, giving a glimpse of the circumstances that shaped them and the invisible thread that connected their paths.
Thread of Destiny. In 1986, Laura Schroff, a successful advertising executive, crossed paths with Maurice, an 11-year-old African-American boy on the brink of homelessness, on the bustling streets of New York City. The mid-1980s were marked by a widening gap between the rich and the poor, making it easy for someone like Laura to overlook a young boy in need. Despite her demanding schedule, Laura chose to look beyond her personal obligations and treat Maurice to lunch, forging a deep bond that would span over 3 decades. Some might call their meeting fate, as suggested by an ancient Chinese proverb describing an invisible thread that connects those destined to encounter one another. Others may consider it mere serendipity. Regardless of what one chooses to call it, their simple act of kindness blossomed into a lifelong friendship, transcending social and economic differences. Overcoming a turbulent childhood. Maurice's childhood was dominated by extreme poverty, crime, and addiction. Raised in a violent environment, he witnessed his father's neglect and his mother's struggle with drugs. Despite the ever-present darkness, Maurice found the inner resilience to keep pushing forward in life. Growing up in an atmosphere plagued with crime and brutality, Maurice's life lacked the security and stability every child desires. His father, a reputed member of the Tomahawks gang in Brooklyn, abandoned his responsibilities, leaving Maurice to scrounge for food in garbage cans. His mother, Darcella, was no stranger to violence, and Maurice bore witness to her attacking his father with a knife at just 5 years old. A constant accompaniment to the violence in Maurice's life was the destructive presence of drugs. Alongside his 2 older sisters, he moved from one cramped apartment to another, as his mother and uncles financed their lives through selling crack cocaine. Darcella struggled with addictions to both crack and heroin, which dictated the family's daily routine. The adults sought their high at night, while the children aimlessly roamed the streets during the day. In a twisted irony, it was during his mother's moments of drug-induced peace that Maurice found some solace. Despite the tragic circumstances, Maurice gratefully clung to these rare instances of happiness. The severity of his mother's addiction revealed itself in moments like when she shot up on the subway, shielded by her own children, unable to contain her craving for a fix. Traditional moments of joy were overshadowed by the ever-present specter of addiction. On his 6th birthday, Maurice received a marijuana joint as his first-ever present from his grandmother Rose. Although her 6 sons contributed to raising Maurice, they couldn't escape the relentless cycle of drugs, crime, and violence. In the face of insurmountable adversity, Maurice's relentless resilience serves as a testament to the indomitable will to survive amidst chaos and pain. Unraveling Laura's journey. Growing up in a tumultuous household in suburban New Jersey, Laura faced her father's volatile outbursts and yearned to escape the chaos. She longed to become an airline stewardess, fantasizing about leaving her troubled family life behind. Despite facing setbacks in her academics and multiple failed exams to become a stewardess, Laura never gave up. She persisted in applying to a stewardess program with Icelandic Airlines, which ultimately led to a job as a receptionist. This opportunity opened doors to the world of advertising sales. Laura's determination and charm allowed her to secure an interview for a sales representative position with Travel Agent magazine. With no prior experience, she still managed to persuade the magazine to hire her. This breakthrough marked the beginning of her successful career in advertising sales, as Laura went on to find financial success with Ms. Magazine and USA Today. Her unwavering resilience became the driving force behind her achievements, demonstrating the power of perseverance in overcoming life's challenges. Unlikely friendship blooms. Laura's unexpected encounter with Maurice sparked a unique bond between them. After treating him to their first meal together, she couldn't shake the thought of him from her mind and wondered what else she could do to help. Despite questioning her motivations, Laura knew her intentions were honorable and sought him out again. Soon, they began sharing regular Monday lunches, building a genuine connection. As their friendship grew, Laura bravely invited Maurice to her home for a home-cooked meal and a Mets game, despite concerns from her friends about possible consequences. Ultimately, the pair formed a pact based on mutual trust and the foundation of a strong, lifelong bond. Unveiling Maurice's life. Simple childhood experiences like going to a baseball game or receiving a packed lunch in a brown paper bag held great significance for Maurice. Witnessing firsthand the harsh reality of his living conditions when delivering a permission slip, Laura became more determined to provide support and care for him, which was symbolized by leaving packed lunches for him in brown paper bags, a sign of love and care cherished by Maurice. The suburban life revelation. Encountering Laura's sister's suburban life, Maurice discovers a new family dynamic that makes a lasting impression. Witnessing the spacious living arrangement, shared meals, and gentle parenting, Maurice's eyes are open to a more positive future for himself and his family. Maurice's life forever changed after he met Laura, expanding well beyond the familiarity of baseball games and brown bag lunches. Venturing outside New York City's 5 boroughs for the first time, Maurice visited Laura's sister's family in Greenlawn, Long Island. There, he encountered a family lifestyle strikingly different from his own. Growing up in a cramped urban apartment, Maurice marveled at the luxuries of suburban life, such as yards for playing and individual rooms for children. His life had offered no such comforts, with only a closet available for moments of solitude within the cramped quarters. But the most powerful revelation occurred at the family's dinner table, where he witnessed laughter, conversations, and shared meals. This heartwarming scene starkly contrasted Maurice's own experiences of eating alone on the floor after someone brought home food. This visit sparked a newfound optimism in Maurice, who shared with Laura a dream of one day gathering his whole family around a grand dining table. This was the first time Laura heard such hopeful aspirations from him. This transformative journey didn't end there. Over the Christmas holidays, Laura and Maurice attended a recital at the local church, featuring one of Laura's nieces. When she began to cry, Maurice braced himself for the terrible outcome of a beating that he had been conditioned to anticipate. Instead, he saw the girl's father comfort and console her. The incident profoundly impacted Maurice, opening his eyes to the variety of parenting styles, with some far superior to others. Love, friendship, and choices. Laura's long-standing friendship with Maurice was challenged upon meeting Michael, the seemingly perfect partner. As their relationship progressed, Michael's distrust of Maurice became a wedge between them, with him forbidding the friend from entering their new home. Despite Laura's concerns about compromising her bond with Maurice, she moved in with Michael and eventually married him. The strain on her marriage became too intense, leading to their divorce. In her 40s, Laura realized that her childless life heightened the importance of her friendship with Maurice, who became like the child she never had. Although this epiphany was powerful, Laura and Maurice still faced obstacles in their relationship. A journey to adulthood. Laura struggled to recognize Maurice as a responsible adult, especially after he unexpectedly had 2 children. They lost contact, but during their separation, Maurice made strides toward bettering himself. It was only after the death of his mother that he reconnected with Laura, her relief amplifying that Maurice had defied the odds of becoming another family statistic. As Maurice matured, Laura found it difficult to view him as a grown individual. When he fathered a child with a girl, Laura couldn't help but express her disapproval. Even so, it was time for Maurice to stand on his own feet without Laura, venturing into the realm of adulthood. It wasn't long before Maurice unexpectedly requested money for winter coats for his new family, only to disappear for 3 years without a trace. During his absence, Laura couldn't help but worry. 8 years of friendship and he had never asked for anything, why now? Maurice's hidden truth was the birth of a second child, which he kept from Laura to avoid any disappointment or judgment. Determined to manage his responsibilities, Maurice distanced himself from Laura and sought ways to support his own family. He found work as a messenger and sold bootleg clothing on the side, even narrowly escaping a gunfight unscathed in the process. Meanwhile, Maurice's mother, Darcella, was losing her long battle with addiction and HIV. When she ultimately passed, Maurice felt a sense of relief for her. With this chapter of his life closed, he reached out to Laura. Despite the 3-year silence, Laura was overjoyed to hear from him when he called her after his mother's funeral and told her, "You're my mom now." Laura's relief was immense, as she knew Maurice had defied seemingly insurmountable odds. At that point, most of his family had met grim fates in death or prison, but Maurice had taken a different path towards his journey to adulthood. Unwavering bond of mutual growth. When Laura celebrated her 50th birthday, she reflected on her life-changing friendship with Maurice. Both of them felt grateful for the bond they shared and attributed their connection to a higher power or guiding force. Laura wondered if her late mother's promise to watch over her played a role in their chance meeting in 1986, which significantly impacted their lives. Laura found courage, resilience, and new perspectives on life through supporting Maurice, who faced overwhelming challenges in his past. With Laura's guidance, Maurice rose above his circumstances, earned his GED, and attended college. Motivated by the stark realization of the number of black men incarcerated in comparison to those in college, Maurice initiated a prison-to-college program within his institution. He succeeded in branching off into the professional world, becoming the research director for a fatherhood initiative program before establishing his own construction firm. Today, Maurice is a loving husband and father, residing in a beautiful home that symbolizes his inspiring journey of transformation and growth.
Through the inspiring true story of Laura Schroff and Maurice Mazik in An Invisible Thread, learn the beauty and power of a simple act of kindness. Witness how Laura's willingness to lend a hand to an underprivileged child led to a transformative journey for both of them. This deep friendship enabled Maurice to break free from the cycle of poverty, violence, and drugs and become a successful entrepreneur, husband, and father. As for Laura, helping Maurice opened her eyes to the true value of love, courage, and resilience. This heartwarming narrative reminds us that even the smallest gestures can have a profound impact on the lives of others and pave the way for meaningful connections.